Welcome to the Living in Savannah channel. I'm James Headley. Today's episode comes from a little different perspective than others here on the channel. While regular viewers will know that I will occasionally share my perspective on a Zillow article or research piece, today I'm going to do so, but in this case, the article in question, 15 Home Buying Myths to Unlearn Right Now, is based upon a survey of loan officers versus the more typical audience of buyers, sellers, and/or agents. Before getting into the myths surfaced from these discussions with those on the front lines of mortgages, let me thank you as always for subscribing, sharing, and liking. And with that, let's turn to myth number one, and that was you need a 20% down payment. It's good that Zillow opened with this one because it allows me to add some context to today's episode. Frankly, a number of these myths are either irrelevant to you as a prospective buyer on Skidaway Island, or so clearly something that you likely already know to be false or a myth that I am not going to spend time discussing them in any great detail. With that, let's move on to myth number two, and that was your pre-approval rate is the rate you'll get when you close. I think this one falls in that same category as number one for this audience, but I will just urge you to pay close attention to the lock-in period and terms if you are thinking of financing any portion of your home. Myth number three is you should wait to buy a home until prices are lower. If you're a regular viewer of the channel, you've heard me talk about the interaction of interest rates and prices, as well as the steady climb of home values here on Skidaway Island, as evidenced by my monthly updates. Who knows what the future will bring, but if I were setting the odds, I would figure on prices rising versus falling. So if you see the right home for you for a meaningful time period, at least 3 to 5 years in most cases, I'd say go for it. Myth number four, buying a home is always cheaper and a better investment than renting. I'd be happy to run through some specific numbers if you find yourself weighing this equation, but for the vast majority of channel viewers here, this is a moot point and question, as the calculus is more about buying a second home or relocating to the landings versus a pure rent versus buy equation. Myth number five is you should find a home before you apply for a home loan. Randomly throw a dart in this channel and chances are you will hit upon a video where I mention the importance of getting pre-approved before you start looking for a home if there's any chance you might want or need to finance. So that's enough said here. That brings us to myth number six. Buying a fixer-upper will save you money. This could be an episode or two of its own. Lots of questions and variables to consider when evaluating whether this is myth or reality. How handy are you personally? How much is your time worth? I.e., even if you were able to undertake a lot of the work on a fixer-upper yourself, would your time be better employed doing other things? Specific to the landings market in particular, how much has the home been discounted in recognition of the need for remodeling, updating, etc., vis-a-vis other homes on the market? As I've shared elsewhere, it is not at all uncommon, given the age of the housing stock here in the landings, to spend $100,000 or two or more, and sometimes a lot more, to make the home your own. So fixer-upper can mean quite a range of things here. In very practical terms, is that $850,000 fixer-upper going to be a better value all in than the $1 million plus home that is closer to your tastes and expectations out of the gate, for example? Myth number seven, you have to get your loan from the lender who pre-approves you. Another one that can go without much additional comment, except to underscore the importance of shopping lenders and rates before you go to contract, just to avoid any surprises, closing issues, etc. Let's stop there for this episode and wrap up with the final eight myths in the next installment. Until then, please reach out if you have any questions or wish to discuss your particular real estate context at any time. And of course, please keep liking and sharing. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel. And thank you, and I will see you soon.